if you've been doing your homework, hopefully you've learned a little bit about the respiratory system, about different types of animals and how their systems are the same and different, and then also the different parts of the system. So if we were in school, we would be doing an activity called building a lung. And you will find in your assignment that this paper will be attached that goes through how to do this activity with some questions as well. So I was going to try to have you do this at home, but didn't know if you'd have all the materials and they were kind of hard to send. So I'm going to put together a lung and do the activity. And then what I would like you to do for the assignment is to answer the questions that go along with it. So I'm going to kind of follow the paper as I go through so it makes a little bit of sense. So the first thing that you have to have is a 2-liter bottle, okay? And if you want to do this yourself at home, you can. So you have to cut off the bottom. Just be very careful to not, cut your finger off. And then you also, in the cap, need to drill 2 holes enough that a straw could fit through them, okay? The other materials that you would need is obviously a straw, and it should be a bendy straw if you have one. It'll just make things look a little more realistic. You need 2 balloons. You need 3 rubber bands, 2 of them a little bit smaller because they're just going around a straw, and then 1 of them larger because it's going to go around the bottom of the 2-liter bottle. You need some clay or some Play-Doh. And you also need some saran wrap or some cling wrap, whatever you want to call it. And you need a binder clip, or probably you could also use like a really good clothespin that will be tight. So after you've got your holes in the cap and you've cut off the bottom of your soda can or soda bottle, I have one already started. And as you go through, some of the questions might be easier to answer. Like if we were doing this in the classroom, it might be easier to answer at the end. The first question asks, what does the bottle itself represent? Then it tells you to assemble the straw. Now what it has you do, and actually I'll take this off. And I found this, the directions they gave made sense, but then it was also kind of a challenge to put the straw through the hole. And my holes are pretty tight, which you do want them to be. So you could make the holes a little bit bigger to give you a little easier to do. So I could really only go through one way. But so what I'm going to do here is, it's easier the way I drilled them to go through this way. Let's see if I can do this. We'll try this. No, that's not gonna work. Okay, so I'm now going to, just like I did before, except I did it out before it went through the thing, is you're gonna put the balloon on the end and taking your rubber band, you go the opposite way, seeing as I'm right-handed, you need to securely fasten the balloon onto the end of the straw. You can see if you have a smaller rubber band, this would take much less time. You gotta make sure it's on the straw. One more time, I think I got it. Okay. Okay, but you don't want it too tight that it's going to crush the straw. So then what you need to do is kind of stuff it through there. Okay, So one of the other questions then, and the idea was if you had the bendy straws to kind of bend them to one side, which hopefully makes sense to you, because one of the questions is what do the straws and the balloons represent if we are building a lung? So then you want to secure that on there. Then the next step, just to, and as I said, I have it pretty tight here, but you can take your Play-Doh and just kind of put it around the straws. You're basically trying to make a tight seal as best you can. The next step, and this I had to modify a little bit from the directions, is take your plastic wrap